Just for the Luddites amongst us, for those who don't know too much about esports, what is it all about? Why should we care about this?
Sure. So esports is actually taking video games, putting them into professional competitions, and then having millions of fans around the world watching them as a spectator experience, just like a sport would be watched. So that's what esport is. And why should you care? Because this is the sport where the young generation watches. We're actually seeing regressions in numbers for many of the traditional sports, but esport rapidly growing and is actually the trend coming up that's taking over traditional sports.
What are the opportunities this year? You're expanding. You're part of the TENCENT group, of course. You're one of their divisions. And as David mentioned in the studio, League of Legends really is the #1 title for gamers here in China. It's your title. How are you planning to push that more broadly in China this year? Where's the growth going to come from?
Sure. So in terms of esport for us in China this year, we're actually doing a couple new things. First of all, at the last year, we just announced our franchising, which is the end of promotion and relegation. Now we have long-term partners who's investing into our sport for the long run, and we now get a lot of more professionalized owners who's working with us, building the brands and really building the sport together with us. The other thing that we're doing is the home and away system for our LPL, our League of Legends Pro League. So home and away means we are actually operating in 4 cities this year: Shanghai, Hangzhou, Chengdu, and Chongqing. And then we'll be working together with the home teams there, and then we'll be able to broaden the reach to the fans there, build deeper fandom, as well as strengthen the ecosystem because they get to work with all the industries locally in those markets. So we are looking much more like a professional sport this year.
Give us some numbers. What are you talking about towards the end of the year in terms of audience numbers, in terms of players, in terms of revenues? Give us some guidance into just how big this market is going to be at the end of the year.
Sure. So 2017, our total number of hours watched for League of Legends esport is 3 billion hours. The most watched game during our World Champion Series, which was hosted in China, was 80 million unique viewers. That's higher than any sport out there for the entire year. No other sport has that many unique viewers for the entire year. So it is you can say that in many regards, it is the most watched sport in China. And in terms of revenue, we can't disclose too much the revenue figures, but we are pretty proud to say that League of Legends Pro League in China is the highest revenue league for any esport in the world, and then we're also probably the closest to profitable.
And how are you broadening the accessibility to this sporting sector, as you call it, beyond hardcore gamers? How are you pushing it out? How are you growing your audience?
So what we're realizing is that there's already a lot of viewers. We estimate that just League of Legends esport viewers is about 70 million in China. And esport viewers in general is about 220 million. So these are really large numbers that's actually getting to the scale of mass acceptance already. So what we think is that we still want to provide the best sport viewing experience to the hardcore gamers. But at the same time, we can provide an experience that the hardcore gamers and the sport audience can like alike, then that will be great for us as well. So what we're doing is to continue better the production quality, the quality of our product, making sure that we have better analysts and then better games, more competitive leagues. That's what we'll continue to do. And then we'll continue to market to the hardcore gamers and make sure that the mass audience actually can understand our game better.
Is the push to get esports included in, for example, the Asian Games 2018 in Indonesia, is that part of this attempt to broaden the audience? And how close are you to getting esports included in the Asian Games?
So for Asian Games, it's a long story, but it is something that we are discussing with the committee there. I do think that it will have a strong symbolic symbol for esport as a whole, and of course for League of Legends esport. So I definitely look forward to that. In the end, League of Legends is the most watched esport, and I do think that having the most watched game and most played game for esport, representing the Asian game will be something quite unique and quite meaningful.
How do you respond to those who say, look, this isn't a sport, this is a sedentary activity, it's addictive, it's keeping lots of young people sat at desks for hours on end, this is not a positive or healthy transition that's happening?
Well, it really depends on how you define sports. To me, sports is about having a competitive experience, having a team-based or even individual-based experience that can really excite the audience, that our players, that the normal sport audience want to watch. And as long as that's defined, I think actually anything can be a sport. So for us, right, we have a sport activity that fits all that criteria. It's highly competitive, takes a lot of training, really deep mastery curve, and now we have a thriving pro league scene and the ecosystem built around it.
Is a mobile version of League of Legends in the works?
I cannot discuss that, unfortunately.
How is the relationship with Tencent, your owner? How is that playing out? Are there tensions there? There must be some disputes as well as cooperation in that relationship.
So yes, Tencent is our they fully own us, and then we actually work really close with them, around the world, but especially in China. Globally, they actually are really hands-off on our operations, so we operate independently. But for China, they provide a lot of resources. They are a publisher, and then the two teams has been working hand in hand over the last couple of years since the acquisition, and we have together achieved great results.